The Heights of Perdition by C.S. Johnson. Overview. Aeris St. got into the tyrannical world's government's military academy, where her estranged military father has great influence. She is captured by space pirate Exton Shepherd, who doesn't know her identity or how close she is to one of the most sadly influential moments in his life. Both are mistrusting of the other, but their workings together brings them together in more ways than one. Review. I'm into my third year of reading works by C.S. Johnson, and I realize I've only done short stories from her and wanted to dig into a regular book, as I've enjoyed her work quite a bit. The first book was a young adult sci-fi dystopian book that built off Ursula K. Le Guin's book, and another was a very cute slight fantasy romance. So for this year's work, I thought, why not combine them and read the first book of the Divine Space Pirates book, which is a sci-fi dystopian romance book. Let me not bury the lead. I liked the book quite a lot, and when I got to the end, I messaged the author on Twitter and stated, "How dare you? I'm glad you have other books in the series." A post-apocalyptic Earth has humanity underground, and the former U.S. is ruled by a communist regime. And other than the underground part, it's hard to see what's futuristic about it. Aeris St. is from this world where all life is controlled and militaristic. Her father is a high-ranking military commander and distant from her. She has an independent streak in her, revealed further by to be influenced by her mother. Whereas many authors would probably write the character as cold and militaristic, for her heart to be unthawed, Johnson endears readers to Aeris as being kind, slightly rebellious, and not completely sure of herself or her place in the world. She is captured on accident by the space pirate Exton Shepherd, who captures one of the few remaining living trees on the surface and snatches Aeris up in it. The biblical symbolism isn't lost here. Shepherd is driven both by revenge of his father's death at the hands of General St. Cloud, and Aeris hides her identity when captured, but also is driven to help those not under the heel of the government, both on his ship and the hidden caches elsewhere, to survive. Aeris and Exton's romance has the enjoyable tropes of the enemies to lovers that unfolds well. Exton's sister adds a lot to the story and builds up the character of Aeris even more to the reader, and the romance follows along with other elements of the story, so even us nerds who enjoy some romance in our sci-fi don't have to choose one over the other. The romance is tasteful and not explicit. While in the realm of possibility, I would have actually liked to seen the love story drawn out more, as it seems Exton's sister tends to push him into falling in love with the enemy a bit more quickly. Also, giving access to the entire ship pretty freely to the enemy was something I tended to find on a little bit more of the unbelievable side. And like a big nerd, I was actually hoping for a more political discussion, especially between the clash of the only system Aeris knew versus Exton's rebellion against it. What is enjoyable is the discussion of Christianity being involved in the rebellion, with it being part of an almost monk-like sect on board. While I wouldn't place this book into a Christian fiction section entirely, it's clear the Christian influence and worldview is at play here, and it is being part of the rebellion is welcomed and realistic. I really enjoyed reading this book, and I believe it to be something that shows that IndiePub does well, writing enjoyable stories that the author wants to tell without needing the story to be in a niche category and of only for women or romance Fabio in space. Will I continue the series? Well, C.S. Johnson has forced me to with her ending. And that is because she has written characters and relationships well enough in a world that's interesting enough, with a plot that's fun enough, that made me enjoyably angry with the author. Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Final grade, A-.